Hey guys, and welcome to Movie Mumbles, where the mumbles have movies and the movies have mumbles. I'm Mr. Womble, and this is my boy Roy. Say hi, Roy.
I would sing that song from the movie, like that weird Spanish song, but I don't want to sound racist, so I'm not gonna.
God fucking damn it. So, Movie Mumbles is our little podcast where we take it in turns to each pick a movie-based theme. We're currently exploring the theme of Jackie Chan movies, where Jackie Chan has to star as a major role. But today was my pick, and we are talking about Jackie Chan's 1984 Hong Kong release, Meals on Wheels, directed by Sammo Hung.
And he's also in the movie. He's like the fat guy.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen Meals on Wheels, now's your chance, because spoilers lie ahead.
Okay,
and we'll talk about Sammo Hung later.
Okay, so let me just ask you a quick question before we begin. Why this movie? I'm just curious. I'm not in a mean or derogatory way.
It is one of the few Jackie Chan Hong Kong films that I hadn't quite properly seen. I'd seen clips of it, I've seen part of it, but I'd never seen it all the way through. I kind of wanted to just sit down and watch it. Also, because it's really fun and lighthearted, and there's nothing serious going on. I felt like the last two Jackie Chan films Police Story has serious threads through it, and I just thought we'd lighten up the mood a bit.
Okay,
let us watch one of the just pure comedy, and it's very Hong Kong Oriental comedy as well, so you kind of get the eyes from their point of view.
I was just curious because, when you think of classic Jackie Chan movies during his, early days, you think of Drunken Master, you think of Police Story, and those films. I'm sure this is a film that not a lot of people know about. I had no clue about this movie.
This is probably there was the threesome of Biao Yan, Sammo Hung, and Jackie Chan. In the early to late 80s. From that time, that was the threesome in Hong Kong, and they were huge. And by this point, they'd already done Project A, which was a huge hit over there. They'd done, which one's the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star one? I can't remember. Something on the stars. I know it's something to do with stars, and there was previous releases of that. They'd already done that one as well. I think they'd done Winners and Sinners. I'm not 100% that they'd done that.
Yeah, I have no clue what any of those movies are.
These were all big releases over in Hong Kong at the time. So this was just a fun film in between making Project A, and which was 83, I think. Project A. And Police Story, which was Jackie Chan's passion project, which was his first proper time where he's directing.
So it's more of it's not really a super serious project. It was more of a fun kind of...
Yeah, it's just a fun kind of thing. There's a lot of references in this film, to Buster Keating, especially with the doors right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is just, I think that visually is just brilliant, and it's very much a homage to... Just
like with Police Story, it's kind of a great kind of slapstick comedy, or I could see the fun.
It is.
There's some moments that kind of have a Three Stooges vibe to it, also.
Yes, yeah, that's definitely true. And they all complement each other on screen as well. So Biao Yan and Jackie Chan's characters, David and Thomas. Is it David? I feel like it's David.
I think so. I'm not sure.
David and Thomas, their combination works so well together. You get that chemistry between them just right at the beginning. As soon as that starts, as soon as the film starts and you see inside their apartment and they're waking up and they're doing the morning training, you see their chemistry together.
Yeah.
They work well as a team. I thought that they were brothers at the beginning of this.
I mean, that's a fair assessment, yeah. I mean, they do live together.
Yeah, that supposition. Then I think it came around to when they met Thomas's uncle and David's father, then it was kind of clicked in, oh wait, no, they're cousins, okay.
Oh, they are?
I also noticed in the subtitles, it said Uncle Chan. And I think this is another Police Story issue where whoever has typed that up couldn't be bothered to find out what their actual last names were in Hong Kong. So they just thought, oh, Jackie Chan, he's big, we'll just put Chan.
For my subs, it just said Jackie Chan was the friend. For the record, first off, I did watch the sub. Now, you keep saying there wasn't a dub. There was a dub, okay? I found a dub of...
There is?
Yeah, there's an English dub. But I didn't watch it.
Because I actually thought that there was only about 5 or 6 English dubs for Jackie Chan films from the 80s. And I'm sure Meals on Wheels wasn't on the list, so it might be a passion fan project, or it might have been done after it was released in theaters.
I don't know, because it looked like a legit like English sub.
But it was never released in America in the theaters.
Well, it got English. I'm pretty sure it was released.
That's what I mean. No, it wasn't. It never came out in America.
Okay.
It only came out in America way after. It was like it was about 95 or 6 when it came out in America on VHS. And that was after Jackie Chan did, I think it was, Rush Hour. After Jackie Chan did Rush Hour, then he kind of got the ball rolling in America. So that was only when Wheels on Meals started.
But just to make sure, I did watch the sub, so Womble can be happy about that. Quick thing though.
Yes.
In the subs that I was watching, it said that Jackie Chan's character was like the friend of the guy, because like during the scene where I forgot the character's name. I think it was Thomas or David or whatever. They go to see his mentally disabled father or insane father, and the father refers to Jackie Chan's character as the friend of his son instead of cousin thing. I don't know.
Oh, that's a bad subtitle edit. Are you copywriting it? Are you not watching legit versions of this?
I'm watching. Don't judge me. I'm not.
He referenced this in the actual edit. They reference cousins because it's all Uncle Chan, that sort of thing, and there's a lot of that going on in the actual edit. I'm not sure what version you were watching where it's referencing friends.
Okay, first off, all my versions are legit, okay? I'm not going to be accused of being pirated on this podcast. Okay, and let's talk about the fucking movie, okay?
I don't know, maybe it's a difference between... That is something breaking? Hold on a second.
Slapstick comedy.
It's okay. No, we're good. We're good.
Some more slapstick comedy.
Maybe there is a difference then between the English sub and the American sub. Maybe there is actually a difference in subs, or maybe I just didn't notice it. Maybe I've because I've got the legendary Jackie Chan pack on DVD.
Yeah, I didn't have that version.
I've got a lot of his original Japanese releases. Some of them I still haven't seen, and this is part of that box set, and it was released whenever, like 2010 or what, I don't know.
Look, let's quickly just get the plot out of the way. I don't think the plot's the most essential part of this movie. It's not really a plot.
It's not.
But let's just get it out of the way. Okay, so pretty much Jackie Chan and I forgot the other guy's character's name. Let me quickly. It's
David. So it's Thomas and David. With the cousins.
Yuen Biao's character.
Moby is Sammo. Moby is played by Sammo Hung.
So pretty much these two friends, basically, or cousins, they work at a meal truck, which, by the way, looks super fucking advanced for these guys who are basically in poverty. You even have the fucking scene with the computer. Like, it has this weird computer thing. Like, no fucking poverty-stricken food.
That, like, all 80s films were doing that at the time.
It doesn't even make sense.
Random computers, because, hey, computers, I'll admit, that doesn't make any sense. I think that's more the 80s and trying to say, oh wow, computers are a thing now, let's just ham it into every film. It's like,
but anyway, so pretty much they meet this hooker who's like, it turns out it's actually who's like a thief, and she steals money from everybody, and she's kind of a shitty person, but it turns out she's actually the daughter of a count, and like these evil guys are trying to kidnap her, and something about inheritance and blah blah blah. And then Sammo Hung's character is investigating that case, even though the case kind of doesn't make sense, because like pretty much the guy just gives her a picture of her from 10 years ago, and then somehow he then talks to some mafia guys because he assumed that she was a prostitute, and then it doesn't make any sense, really. That beginning part doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I think, for me,
I found it too coincidental. I don't know.
For me, it's not about the story. It is just something that I do have to admit, this is probably one of Jackie Chan's weaker Hong Kong films because of the story elements.
Yeah, no.
Although when you go back to like some of the other stories like that he did, Winners and Sinners, for instance, like that was just as goofy and as weird. But the whole joy of these films for me is like the action and the comedy that you get through it, and it's just like a unique look. But definitely the storyline is just complete wacky and ridiculous. It's so I'll tell you what it is. It's so Asian trying to be American.
Oh, yeah. The fact that it takes place in Spain is a big part of this.
Well, now, there's an interesting story behind that. The reason why it takes place in Spain is because they had to film it in Spain.
Oh, really?
The reason why they had to film it in Spain was because Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, and Biao Yen were getting so renowned and really well known around Hong Kong, they just could not film anything without hordes and crowds of people just coming in front of it. So it's something that Bruce Lee used to do. He used to film a lot of his stuff in Italy.
Because it was interesting because, like, there's a lot... I'm not going to try to make anything... I'm not going to try to make anything weird about it, but there's a lot of, like, non-Chinese people or more foreigners. Like, you know, I'm not saying American or anything, but, like, they're not Chinese in this film. And I know...
No, they're all European Spanish.
Yeah.
And they are all racist as well. I noticed that. I don't know if it's 1980s or maybe it's just Asians and they're just like it's that sort of mentality that they have. But it's all like, oh, here's the Chinese kind of thing. And it's like, wow, that is so bad. And this is releasing in Hong Kong and it's made by Cantonese and Chinese nationals. So is it their pessimistic look on themselves? That it just messed with me when I saw those.
To be fair, the other races, like the other ethnicities, aren't exactly favorably shown either. Like the Italian,
no, they're not.
The Italian guy who's like cheating on his wife, and then the wife is super crazy, and then the whole thing about like Spaniards and stuff. It's just it's not. Don't look into this film if you're like super PC or something.
I'm gonna put this down as the 1980s, where political correctness, especially in like Asia and everywhere like that, just did not exist. And it's just fun. It's just making fun of stereotypes. And who can go wrong with that? Why should we get insulted by that sort of thing? It's fun for me, so yeah. Now there are problems that I have with this. Because like you said, the story doesn't quite get traction. And for me, I found myself for like the first half of the film, I'm just like I kind of felt like, okay, keep going. I had to kind of force myself to concentrate to watch it, which isn't like me with these sort of films, because I really like to just sit down and turn my brain off.
Now, okay, I didn't have that problem with the film. I was fine watching it. It's not really a plot that you want to think too much about, but it's a fun ride. It's one of those fun ride movies, and I think for that it's really good. I do think the ending also is pretty abrupt. Like they
wow, yeah.
They literally
actually that final fight scene, I really love that, especially the Jackie Chan bit where he's like, just treat it like training, and he gets a fairly serious, cool fight scene, and it visually looks really cool because Jackie Chan is dressed all really styled and he looks like really pumped and everything. And then the other guy is very light clothes, so they contrast very well.
Well, quick fact before you continue. That guy was played by Benny Urquidez, who's actually a very famous kickboxer. His name is
Correct.
The Jet.
He's also been in a load of other Jackie Chan films.
So it's kind of like another cool, it's almost like a fight scene because like these are two very confident fighters, and like he's a real challenge. Like Jackie Chan, it's a real fight. He
is one of Jackie Chan's was one of Jackie Chan's huge stuntmen that he used to do a lot of stunts with. He was in Police Story. I think he was just one of the random stuntmen, like one of the tourists or something. In Police Story. He was in Project A. I think he's in Project A.
But did he ever get this major role? Did he ever get this major role, or was it just?
No, he's usually the antagonist, so he usually fights opposite to Jackie Chan. And I don't think he ever really has speaking roles because as far as I'm aware,
one at the very end, but it's not.
And I'm kind of talking as from what I've picked up. I don't know if this is a fact or not, but from what I'm aware, his Cantonese isn't as good, so it doesn't translate very well to the Cantonese audience. They just it kind of looks really bad to them when he uses his Cantonese. That's why
probably. I
doesn't really have too much talk. But yeah, he is a really good stunt artist that works really closely with Jackie Chan. And if you go into Jackie Chan's filmography, you will see him a number of other times.
So I like that fight. That fight was great. That was a cool.
It was long.
It was a cool fight.
It was so cool.
It's just the fight. Okay, so
do you know what? I remember a couple of years ago. Not a couple of years ago. A couple of months ago, before we started doing the movies, we did a action fight scene, and it's you've got to say your favorite and your least favorite or something like that. That's now my favorite. One-on-one combat. That scene there. That was amazing.
Okay. Anyway, my problem with that was, like, the other two scenes after that were so short in comparison.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, it was just like Yuen Biao and Sammo Hung are very competent and very great fighters. And they have some great stunts throughout the film. It's just their fight scenes with their respective opponents aren't that impressive, especially the big bad guy. Now, you know, he has this thing where he likes to fence and stuff, but the thing is so short, and then it's just an abrupt cut from, they stopped the bad guy. Did they kill him? Did they resolve anything? They just cut. They just literally cut.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it's just like, now he has a sword to him, and then that's it.
Yeah,
they
cut back to them in the fucking food truck.
Exactly ever after.
Yeah, no, they just cut to them in the food truck. Like, literally, like, they just want to get this shit over with by now.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that is true. I'll give you that one. But I think again, that's down to the story. It's not meant to be a complex story. We're not meant to like feel hugely for these characters. It's a fun Hollywood. Well, it's not even Hollywood. It's Hong Kong blockbuster style of thing. Like it's like just get people in, get them enjoying it, get them laughing. And this is why these guys were hits in Hong Kong. Like, these sort of films. Like, they were so fun and entertaining. And you said about Sammo Hung and Biao Yen not really doing too much of the combat. That's because Jackie Chan was put down as the next Bruce Lee. Like, he was known as that. So he was the big billing star. And the reason why they don't make movies anymore is because Jackie Chan got too big for Sammo Hung and Biao Yen, which is kind of sad for me because like I've watched those films. I've seen most of their films that they've done together, and they are such a great combination. They contrast each other so well. There is actually, I think in Project A, there is a really cool fight scene with Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung, and they contrast each other so well in that fight scene. So they, like, you kind of see their choreography together and how they've grown up with each other. But yeah, no, I do agree in this film, especially towards the end, those two characters are kind of pushed to one side a little bit. And I think that's because Sammo Hung probably realized at that point, when we're filming this, that Jackie Chan is kind of like the big up and rising star. It's kind of weird too, because technically Jackie Chan is not really the main character. It's more of a trio piece, honestly. You know, it is. Yes, yeah, it is. It is a trio piece, and it's the same with like Project A. And I know I keep referencing Project A, but that's because that was their big first thing that they did together, and that's kind of like it would be it's a good watch if you haven't seen Project A and you've been interested in these films, especially the ones that I've picked, and you've liked them. Go and watch Project A. It's a really great. You know,
I really
interesting story.
Like I haven't gotten the chance to say my opinion of it, but I do really like this movie. You know, it still has all that great things I liked from Police Story. It has some great fight scenes. It has, like, you know, the action in this is phenomenal. You know, there's not. Yes, I wouldn't say it's up to the level of Police Story because there's not that much of it, but. There's not that much, and it's not as impressive, but still, like there's still some great, memorable moments.
They didn't have the budget that Police Story had,
That's true.
They didn't have the time, because Police Story was in, like, when they were filming this, Police Story was in pre-production, and Jackie Chan put a lot of effort and time into that.
That's true.
Put more of his time and effort into Police Story.
Still, there's still some impressive.
Passion.
There's still some impressive moments, like the scene where the food cart just dives into that cart full of oranges, and it just smashes through it. That thing is just. There's awesome moments like that throughout. Speaking of cars,
yes. Yeah, it is definitely.
Did you notice the Mitsubishi sponsor? Like, Mitsubishi definitely sponsored this film because first, I noticed this twice.
Mitsubishi,
Mitsubishi, whatever. They're shown twice. One of them was kind of more subtle, and it's like, okay, like the Mitsubishi logo is shown like right above like one of the streets in one of the scenes, and then the more obvious one, which I knew for sure was sponsored, is the scene where like it's during the car chase. And there's this full scene where this old lady just kind of swerves out the way. She barely gets hit, and then she's like. And the fucking Mitsubishi logo is like right center in the frame, right in front. And then the girl goes, the old lady goes, oh, thank God, thanks to the sports car. Good thing I'm driving the sports car, otherwise I would have been dead. And just...
Yes. Yes, yeah, that's true. To be honest, I don't think that they would have done sponsors quite the way that you're thinking of, that like films, movies do now.
It's obvious. It's kind of obvious.
Like you think of Audi in Iron Man, it's all over the place, all over like the Avengers and everything.
I'm just pointing that out because for like this early like Chinese film, like I wasn't that prevalent, so it's kind of it's more noticeable with this one.
I generally wouldn't be surprised if they just went to a scrapyard and just picked up the first car that they saw, and it just so happened to be a Mitsubishi. I feel surprised for that.
I feel like that scene was too obvious. Otherwise, I think that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're thinking you've got to go to like Hong Kong. This isn't the world of capitalism where everything has to be paid. Everything is like that. This is just like a kind of, especially 1980s Hong Kong is very much, yeah, sure, do whatever the fuck you want kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I'm not saying that it was. I don't actually know. But I wouldn't actually be surprised. So don't take it at face value that they were a huge sponsor of the film. But yeah, they did have a huge like Mitsubishi logo on the car. I did notice that.
So there really isn't that much to say about this. Honestly, you know, what we've said about, it's a great Jackie Chan movie. The plot really isn't that much. You don't think too hard about it. Honestly, like, the character, like, the princess, like, I do like how they mentioned, like, the two guys, Jackie Chan and Yuen Biao. How do you pronounce his name?
Bao Yen.
Okay, so yeah, Jackie Chan and Yao Ben. So I like how, like, Yao Ben's like, oh, she's so beautiful, like, she's a princess, even though she's a hooker. And then it turns out she's actually is kind of royalty. That was kind of cool foreshadowing. I didn't, it's a nice detail. But I'm not a big fan of her character, like, to be honest. Like, in the beginning, she's just so unlikable. She literally steals, like...
No, yeah, well...
She's like a compulsive stealer.
Do you know what I do like about her character, right? And this is right at the beginning. So, she starts off as, like, this glamorous woman and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, she's a hooker. And it's just, like, it's so, like, out of there. And it's just, like, a random way of thinking. I would never genuinely have thought that is where her character was going to go, that she just turned into a hooker. And then she turns into a pickpocket, and then
then she's a princess.
It does get a bit complicated after that, but I did genuinely like the fact that she was just like a hooker. I'm just like, huh, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and I also found the whole romance in quotation marks between Yao Ben or whatever, and her character. That was awkward.
A little bit weird.
Yeah, especially
it was weird. I think it was because Jackie Chan got involved with it. There was like a weird love triangle where she didn't really give a shit, and you never really saw her point of view on it, and they were just like, I think it was just geeky guys trying to chase the girl. That's just kind of
but it's weird because there's some scenes where like Yao Ben's character has his arm over her, and then the whole thing about getting married, which doesn't go anywhere, and then also the thing about the marriage between the two, his father and her mother, and that goes nowhere. It's literally
no,
just
it doesn't. Well, yeah, like if we're gonna start breaking down the plot, I think we've
established the plot isn't. Yeah, no.
It doesn't. I don't think the plot really matters that much. All this is like a bunch of slapstick. It's like trying to break down the plot for a Buster Keating film.
That's true.
And that's kind of what these guys were trying to emulate with this sort of thing. Is like Buster Keating silent movies. It's more about the humor. It's not so much about the logic of the plot. It's more about getting those visuals and like getting the action in and getting bums on seats mainly in the cinema. Just making a good movie.
Now, it's probably not the most accurate portrayal of mentally disabled people. That's
no,
probably not. It's just
the clock guy though. That is just
yeah, that's messed up, but it's fine.
Man. And but he also had he had his own sound effect. And I always get really confused when movies do this. Like they add in a sound effect that you're not quite sure whether it's just for the audience or the characters can hear it as well.
Yeah.
Because it was like a ticking every time he moved his head. But then I noticed this because I'm a massive nerd. His head got out of sync with the ticking, and it really bugged me for a little bit. I was just like, his head's out of sync. What's happening? And it's kind of weird in these sort of films to have like out of sync and that sort of thing, because everything has a rhythm. Like that's the whole point of kung fu movies or martial art movies is that they have to have a rhythm going through the whole film. So for that small little thing to lose its rhythm, it was a weird thing to see. That. So but again, it's for fuck.
What the fuck are you doing? Are you just what? Keep your fucking plate on your table.
Hey, I'm just breaking shit. That's what I'm doing.
You're just talking about things being in rhythm, and you drop your fucking.
I actually had Chinese. Let me explain. I actually had Chinese before I watched this, and I've still got my bowl and chopsticks out, and I keep knocking the chopsticks off, and because they're not really a fork, they just roll off my fucking desk and then clatter on the floor. So anyway, that's what that is.
Okay.
I just real quick. I just want to talk about performances, especially Bio Yen's. I love his. And Jackie Chan, I love their facial performances.
Yeah,
and they do this a lot, again, going through Jackie Chan's movies. And you're going to have to take my word on this, Roy, because I know you haven't really seen his other Hong Kong stuff.
I'll just assume.
They have their greatest characteristic, that and Sammo Hung as well, those three, is their faces, like their reactions. So Bio Yen had that smile all the way through, especially when he was going after the girl, Sylvia. He had that smile all the way through, and it just looks so cheesy and weird.
Yeah.
And you kind of like a little bit uncomfortable at times, because he's just like looking at her with a smile. Even like when she's been a dick to him, like literally stolen the money.
Yeah.
And then they do the good cop, bad cop routine. Like that, to be able to keep that up and keep that smile going through and keeping the character, that's really good acting for me, right? Do you not think that?
No, I thought the especially with the main trio, their acting was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I wanted to mention Bio Yen in particular because I really did think that his it was the smile that got me with the girl, because it would just appear, and you didn't quite know. At least I didn't quite notice it until it was there, until it was missing, kind of thing. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. Quick minor point. I'm just gonna ask you because you might know this. Mm-hmm. Did Jackie Chan do the skateboarding? Because I'm not sure. Because during the beginning, it looked like I'm not
because
from the beginning when he's first doing it, looks deliberately like.
As far as I know, Jackie Chan does all his own stunts.
The only thing I'm asking,
I think he must have done some of those shots.
He did do some of them
because you see him visually doing it, and I can envision him learning to do the skateboard and making skateboard.
Yeah, the reason I'm pointing this out because
looks cool. But the first scene looked like
it does look so obvious, because the fact is he doesn't move. You don't ever see him and the skateboard in the same shot. And when it's pulled back, it's very obvious.
Not in the first scene. You do in
you do see it in later scenes, but for that scene, it's like, and it's very obviously a stunt double. It looks like a stunt double, especially the way it's filmed.
I know it does. And like I've always gone by the fact, especially in the Hong Kong movies, that Jackie Chan does all his own stunts. And if that is a stunt double, I'm gonna find that real weird. But I generally don't know. It did confuse me. It was a weird thing. But I'm gonna put it down to the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say that was Jackie. I'm just gonna think that, you know, he probably did take the time to learn that. I mean, he's done a lot of really interesting and brilliant stunts in the past. Like, a skateboard is nothing, right?
That's true. That's why that's why I'm finding it weird, because it does look, the way it's filmed really looks like it's a stunt.
I found that weird too. It is. It was. I think our problem is we're used to seeing stunt doubles on the wides.
Yeah.
And because you never see his face on that wide, because I know which shot you're thinking about. You're thinking about the wide where he's first doing
mainly that
the
part.
little the tricks and giving the first delivery. You never see his face on that wide, and usually when they do the stunts and you have that wide shot, you always see his face. So I think that's where it looked like it was a stunt double. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say that it probably was Jackie Chan. It's just, it looked like a stunt double. But yeah, I don't know. I was confused as well.
Before we conclude, super minor trivia fact. And this one is about video games. Because, you know, we're both Let's Players, technically. We're not really movie critics. But, I mean, maybe you are. We don't know your life. Womble, but do you know the game Kung Fu? Like the classic NES game, the one where you're fighting, you're going down. Do you know?
Yes. It is
based on an arcade game that's based on Meals on Wheels. I never knew that. I never knew that.
Yes, it was.
It's such an obscure fact.
What is worse though, because it was originally released in Japan as that, and the studio company got paid for it because they used the title.
It doesn't have anything to do with the game.
Something
really.
very similar. It is very similar, but they got paid for that. But when it went over to America and it changed to
Kung Fu Master, Kung Fu Master, Kung Fu.
Yeah. They didn't actually get a cut of the profits because they changed the title, they changed parts of the game, and that pisses me off. That really generally pisses me off.
Now, to be fair, the game has nothing to do with the movie. It really does not.
It does have nothing to do with the movie, I know. So, to be fair. But anyway, the original Japanese one did have things to do with the movie. They had to change parts of the game for the American release, so that they didn't have to pay the franchises.
Okay, so Meals on Wheels. I hope you guys enjoyed our discussion. I would really recommend you check it out. Honestly, it's not, if you like Jackie Chan movies, if you like good action, if you like that kind of rushing action kind of thing, you will enjoy this movie.
Yeah. It's definitely for people who enjoy, one, you have to be comfortable reading subtitles, and two, you've kind of got to have at least an appreciation for Eastern Asian kind of culture. Especially Chinese, Cantonese, Hong Kong area. But other than that, just go and look it out. It is just for laughs. It's just something where you can just sit down and binge watch kind of thing. I wouldn't rate it as good as Police Story, but that's because that's probably my favorite Jackie Chan film.
So with that in mind, we're going to be doing our final Jackie Chan movie to close off this theme. Now I'm going to try.
This better be a good one. It's got to be a good one.
I'm not making any promises. So. Okay, I'll be honest, I had to make this an American one. I'm sorry, I just had to make this an American film. Now, I was looking through all the American Jackie Chan movies, and I was just trying to think which one is the closest to a Chinese film, a Chinese production. Now, I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be as good, or even as close to one of those Jackie Chan Chinese productions, but I tried to look for it, and the movie I found, it's probably as close as we're ever going to get. It's wuxia style, it's done. It is an American movie. It is an American movie. I had to double check because it's hard to tell. It is the first time that Jackie Chan and Jet Li were together on screen, and the movie I'm talking about is the Forbidden Kingdom.
Get over
I was about to say the title, asshole. The Forbidden Kingdom.
Holy crap. You always take ages to do that.
I was setting up. I was being shorter. I was setting up.
The Forbidden Kingdom. I don't actually know anything about that film.
Okay, so, yeah, as I said, American film, technically. It stars Jet Li and Jackie Chan, so they're like... Yeah, Jet Li? I remember last time you called Bruce Lee Jet Li. In the last...
Yes, I did. I know. I do it all the time.
Yeah, but that's a very noticeable mistake.
I do it all the... Yeah, I know it is. And it pisses me off when I get things wrong. Like that. Like, Jet Li is a very different person. And Bruce Lee is amazing. And he never really did American stuff. They're very different people. Forbidden Kingdom. Okay, I don't know anything about that film. I've heard people who like Jackie Chan films said that it's terrible. So I'm going to think, I'm already going into this biased. It's probably going to be bad.
Hey, I thought you said you weren't going to be biased, man. Okay, but anyway, now's your chance to check out The Forbidden Kingdom in our closing off of Jackie Chan movies. Honestly, I was considering Rush Hour, to be honest, but even I don't want to watch that movie. I don't feel like watching it.
I've seen the second and the third, and I hated both of them. I've seen parts of the first, and I could never make my way through it.
Like, as much as I would love to troll you with that, even I don't really want to watch the movie.
To be honest, I thought that you would pick Rush Hour. That's what I thought you were going to go with.
I was very much considering it, but nah. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Anyway, now's your chance to go watch Forbidden Kingdom.
Are you gonna fucking drop your chopsticks now? Again? For the third time? Rule of 3?
There. Done. Awesome. See ya.
Adios, muchacho. God damn it.